Ukrainian officials have said that a Russian missile slammed into a cafe and a grocery store in a village in the Kharkiv region. The attack has killed 51 people. People in the cafe were holding a memorial service when the missile hit, reducing the building to rubble. The attack was the deadliest in the Kharkiv region since Russia invaded Ukraine last year. Moscow has not commented on the attack. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that Ukraine's military and economy would collapse in days if foreign aid dried up. He made the remarks at a forum in Moscow. Putin added that Ukraine has lost over 90,000 men since the beginning of the war. His comments come amid political turmoil in the United States. On Saturday, the US passed a new temporary spending bill that did not include aid for Ukraine. This has raised fears that further funding for the Ukraine war was in danger. The US government has said it will build more walls along the US-Mexico border. This is to reduce the record number of migrant crossings in recent years. US President Joe Biden's administration will use Trump-era funds to build the walls. Biden said that he tried to get the US Congress to reallocate the fund, but he didn't succeed. He added that there was nothing more he could do. This marks a reversal in Biden's migration policies. Meanwhile, top US officials have said that they will resume deporting migrants from Venezuela. The Venezuelan migrants will be sent back to their country even as arrivals continue to mount. The announcement came as top Biden administration officials met with their counterparts in Mexico, which is the key transit country for migrants. Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy's campaign has said that two protesters ran their vehicle into his car. This was during a campaign in the US state of Iowa. Ramaswamy was not in the car when it happened. It is unclear whether the crash was intentional or not. A man who was convicted of a mass shooting in a New York subway train has been sentenced to life in prison. In April 2022, Frank James set off smoke bombs on a crowded subway train and then killed 10 people. Earlier this year, he pleaded guilty to 10 counts of terrorism and weapons charges. The attack was one of the most violent among a string of mass shootings that the US has witnessed in recent years. The US has said it shot down an armed Turkish drone operating near its troops in Syria. This is the first time that Washington has brought down an unmanned aircraft of its NATO ally, Turkey. Meanwhile, a Turkish defense ministry official said that the drone did not belong to the Turkish armed forces. At least 100 people were killed in an attack on a military academy in Syria. This was after drones bombed the site minutes after Syria's defense minister left a graduation ceremony there. The Syrian defense ministry has said both military personnel and civilians were killed in the attack. They have blamed terrorists for the bombing but did not specify any organization. Israeli troops have killed 2 Palestinian gunmen during clashes in the occupied West Bank. The Israeli military said that the 2 Palestinians were in a car and they fired shots at an Israeli vehicle. After this, the soldiers reportedly shot both of the Palestinians in a gunfight. Israel added that 5 of its soldiers were wounded in the encounter. French President Emmanuel Macron has denounced Azerbaijan. This is for its military operation in the disputed Nagorno-Karabakh region last month. Macron said, and I quote, "Azerbaijan seems to have a problem with international law." But he added that sanctions against Azerbaijan would be counterproductive at this point. Iranian security forces have reportedly arrested the mother of Armita Gerevand, this according to an Iranian rights group. Earlier this week, Gerevand was arrested for not wearing a hijab, which is mandatory for women in Iran. The 16-year-old collapsed following a confrontation with agents in the Tehran metro and is still in critical condition. Iran's judiciary denied the report by the rights group. They have also denied reports that Gerevand was injured. In climate news, the government of Malaysia has urged its neighbours Indonesia to take action on smog and haze. This is after Malaysia's capital Kuala Lumpur recorded poor air quality due to smoke from fires that are burning in Indonesia. Meanwhile, Jakarta has denied that any smoke has drifted from their borders towards Malaysia. Over 3,000 people were evacuated from the Spanish island of Tenerife yesterday. This is due to raging wildfires. Authorities say that the flames have burnt down over 15,000 hectares of land. Tenerife and nearby islands have been battling wildfires since August. France's famous peak Mont Blanc is witnessing some of its lowest levels of snow in 22 years. Researchers say that the mountain has lost more than 2 meters of snow due to warmer than usual summers. Topographers say that Mont Blanc's height is measured by the amount of snow on it. With lower amounts of snow on the peak, its height is said to have decreased. People in Western Europe are noticing the effects of climate change. Hundreds are flocking to the beach due to warm weather in Portugal, Italy and France. Some Europeans are saying that a few years ago, it was not possible to head to the shores in October as winter would start setting in. The South American nation of Ecuador held a tree plantation drive in the capital Quito yesterday. Hundreds of people took part in the sapling plantation marathon. This is the 6th consecutive year that Ecuadorians have planted trees in Quito. Over 2 million plants across 292 species have been planted during these annual drives. A recent UN report says that millions of children are being displaced due to extreme weather. According to the study, at least 43 million children were forced to flee their homes between the years 2016 and 2021. The report says that the major climate events causing the exodus are floods, cyclones, and droughts. The year 2023 is on track to become the hottest year on record. This is according to a report by the European Union. Scientists say that this year's temperatures are 0.52 degrees Celsius higher than average. The study cites human action as the primary cause for the rising temperatures. The UN has pledged to invest over $9 billion towards climate change mitigation. 25 countries have joined the pledge in a bid to help vulnerable nations cope with climate disasters. The money has been allocated for the Green Climate Fund and will be utilized in projects from 2024 to 2027. The biggest backers of this program are Germany, Japan, France, and the UK. Chemicals from road-making material are flowing into England's rivers. Officials who tested the levels of contamination in water bodies say at least 145 water bodies have been exposed to the harmful substances. Last month, the pollutant monitoring body said that over 1,200 water bodies had become polluted due to road-making chemicals. On to business and tech news now. The CEO of search engine firm DuckDuckGo has said that a potential contract with Apple failed because of Google's dominance. The contract was to make DuckDuckGo the default search engine on the Safari browser. The search engine CEO said that Apple was reluctant to give up on Google's multi-billion-dollar paychecks. Google allegedly paid Apple $10 billion annually to make it the default search engine on Safari. Meanwhile, there's another complaint against Apple and Google. South Korea has accused both the big tech firms of abusing their dominant position in the app market. The country's telecom regulator has said that the companies forced app developers into specific payment methods to earn commissions. They also allegedly caused an unfair delay in their app reviews. South Korea's telecom regulator has warned of a potential fine of up to $50 million for Apple and Google over their monopolistic behavior. Meanwhile, Amazon and Microsoft may face an investigation in the UK. This is for their alleged dominance in the country's cloud market. The companies allegedly made it difficult for businesses to use multiple cloud technology suppliers. This is according to a study by Britain's media regulator, Ofcom. Subsequently, Ofcom has asked the UK's antitrust authority to investigate Amazon and Microsoft. The West African country of Senegal has refused to lift a ban on the social media app TikTok. This is until TikTok agrees to the country's demands. Senegal has demanded that the company sign an agreement to create a mechanism to remove accounts. In August, Senegal blocked access to the video sharing app. It said that TikTok was being used to distribute hateful messages in the country. Reports say ChatGPT maker OpenAI is exploring making its own artificial intelligence chips. The company has not yet decided on a concrete plan, but its options could include a potential acquisition. This comes as ChatGPT gained immense popularity since its launch last year. Ever since, chip companies like Nvidia have rushed to produce AI chips. AI chips are specifically designed to make building AI systems such as ChatGPT faster and cheaper. British lawmakers have called for a pause on the use of live facial recognition surveillance in the country's streets. This comes after the UK's Crime and Policing Minister suggested catching criminals using biometric surveillance. The use of the technology has long been criticised by activists in the UK. General Motors has made a counteroffer to the striking employees of America's United Auto Workers Union. This is to end the strike that began last month against the Detroit 3 automakers. The Detroit 3 automakers include Ford, GM, and Stellantis. Separately, the union's president, Shawn Fain, is also due to provide an update on the ongoing strike tonight. Chicken prices at US grocery stores have hit record highs. They're likely to stay elevated. This is because Tyson Foods and other companies have cut back on poultry production to boost their profit margins. Earlier this year, Tyson closed 6 of its US chicken plants to reduce costs. Now the company is looking to tighten its supplies to enhance its revenue. Taiwan's government has opened an investigation into 4 companies. The companies reportedly conducted business with firms linked to China-based tech firm Huawei. The island says that it will investigate if the firms adhered to their initial investment agreements. The companies could face a fine of more than $700 million for breaches. Taiwan is also considering new and tighter rules for its technology sector. Reports say drug maker Sanofi is exploring a potential acquisition of cancer drug maker Mirati Therapeutics. Deliberations are ongoing and there is no certainty they will result in an agreement. In December last year, the US health regulator approved Mirati's lung cancer drug Krazati. It's an oral drug that treats adults with advanced lung cancer. Ahead of that, in November, reports said that Mirati was drawing takeover interest from large pharmaceutical companies without naming any specific firm. Moving to sports, let's begin with updates from the Asian Games. India won bronze in archery in the women's recurve team event. The trio of Ankita Bhakat, Bhajan Kaur and Simranjeet Kaur beat their Vietnamese opponents 6-2 to finish third. The Indian women's kabaddi team cruised into the final earlier today. They beat Nepal 61-17 with a dominating offense. India will now face Chinese Taipei in the final on Saturday. The last time these two teams faced each other, the match ended in a 34-all draw. India beat Bangladesh by 9 wickets to reach the men's cricket final at the Asian Games. Bangladesh batted first and scored 96 runs in their 20-over innings. India chased down the target in just 9.2 overs. Tilak Verma scored an unbeaten 55 runs to guide the men in blue to victory. India will play the final against either Pakistan or Afghanistan tomorrow. Moving to the Cricket World Cup, New Zealand beat England by 9 wickets in the big tournament opener. England batted first and scored 282 runs in their 50 overs. New Zealand had a strong performance with the bat. Devon Conway scored an unbeaten 152 runs for the Black Caps. He was joined at the crease by Rachin Ravindra, who scored an unbeaten 123 runs. Some concerning news for Indian fans. In-form batter Shubman Gill is not feeling well. He's reportedly tested positive for dengue. Gill is undergoing treatment and has not attended practice sessions. Reports say Gill is likely to be dropped from India's World Cup opener against Australia on Sunday. In football, Liverpool beat Union Saint-Gilloise 2-0 in the Europa League. The match was played at Anfield last night. Ryan Gravenberch scored in the 44th minute to give Liverpool the lead. In the second half, the Reds had multiple attempts on goal but couldn't find the net. Then, 2 minutes into second half injury time, Diogo Jota scored the second goal for Liverpool. 4 Paris Saint-Germain players have been handed a one-match suspension by Ligue 1. The footballers were found guilty of making homophobic chants. They joined abusive PSG fans during a home game against Marseille last month. The suspended PSG players include Randal Kolo Muani, Ousmane Dembele, Achraf Hakimi and Laymin Kurzawa. Argentina have called up their talisman Lionel Messi for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. This is despite Messi being unfit due to a hamstring injury. Messi is currently in the US with his Major League Soccer club Inter Miami. The leg injury has forced Messi to miss 3 of the last 5 games for his club. Argentina next play Paraguay in the World Cup qualifiers on the 13th of October. In tennis, world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka has advanced to the China Open quarterfinal. The Belarusian beat Italy's Jasmine Paolini 6-4, 7-6. Sabalenka will face world number 5 Elena Rybakina in the next round. In golf, a large fire broke out at the Marco Simone Golf Club in Italy's capital, Rome. This comes less than a week after Europe beat the US to clinch the Ryder Cup at the very same golf course. Officials from Ryder Cup Europe say there were no casualties. However, they added that a golf hut was burnt down. In entertainment news, American actor Anne Hathaway hopes the Hollywood actors' strike is resolved soon. She expressed this during a screening of her film, She Came to Me. Hathaway could only attend the screening because of an interim agreement with the striking Hollywood Actors Union. The union is currently still in negotiation with Hollywood studios for a better pay deal for actors. American model and actor Paris Hilton's memoir is set to become a TV series. A studio representative has confirmed the acquisition of the rights. Hilton is also expected to serve as the show's executive producer. Her book, titled Paris the Memoir, was released in March this year. Canadian actor Pamela Anderson opted for a makeup-free look at Paris Fashion Week. Anderson revealed that there wasn't a pre-planned decision. She described going makeup-free as a form of freedom, saying she feels happiest in her own skin. American actor Jessica Lange says she's considering retiring from Hollywood. The actor said that creativity is now secondary to corporate profits. Lange feels that the artists and filmmaking are diminishing. She says she wants to slowly phase out of films. Singer Taylor Swift continues her record-breaking streak. Advance bookings for her Eras Tour film have already surpassed $100 million. The film is set to hit 8,500 theaters in 100 countries on October 13th. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour film will capture the concert's finest moments. A new comic book about American singer Billie Eilish is on the horizon. The publication is part of a series celebrating female empowerment. The comic will trace Billie Eilish's journey from a young dancer to a globally acclaimed singer. The book will be available from October 10th. Production on a Martin Luther King Jr. biopic is underway. The production company is in talks with comedian Chris Rock to direct and produce the film. Legendary director Steven Spielberg is expected to serve as the executive producer. American showrunner Brian Fuller has been sued for sexual harassment. The producer Sam Weinberg filed the case on Wednesday. He alleged that the harassment took place on the sets of Queer for Fear in 2021. Fuller's lawyers deny the charge and are preparing to file a defamation case against Weinman. American singer Jason Derulo is being accused of sexual misconduct. Aspiring singer Imaza Gibson alleged that Derulo asked her for sexual favors. She also says she was given inappropriately large amounts of alcohol during their recording sessions. Gibson's attorney says that Derulo's behavior towards the young artist was despicable. Once upon a time in Hollywood actor Keith Jefferson has passed away after battling cancer. He was 53 years old. Jefferson was also a producer, voiceover artist, and acting coach.